Okay, hello. Today we're playing Orwell, the game that is, well, you'll see. In case you haven't already realized, it is a reference to the novel 1984, written by George Orwell, in which everyone is monitored by the government 24/7. And so it's representative of that game, of that book, which is, I actually need to read it. I've just heard about it, I haven't actually read it. Here we'll choose I'm kind of tempted to just, I guess I can't leave it blank now. Alright, let's be this guy, I suppose. It's ISU GDC. I'm not going to enter my email address. I am aware that my actions may severely impact the Okay, actually, I should probably start from here. I'm going to attempt to make this a more game development noteworthy stream. I'm going to try to do that. From here, it's like, congratulations, you've been selected for the Orwell test phase. Please create a profile. And we applied for a job, but they're having us create a profile as though it's a social media account. Which sets the tone off pretty interestingly. Also, you can enter your real world email address in here. I actually haven't gotten any emails from them yet. I don't know what triggers that, but I have done it previously. And then finally, be diligent, your work has severe impact. Please agree to the following terms. I am aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of the citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge objectively in the best of my belief. While working, I will adhere to the laws and jurisdiction of the nation. And you have to agree to the terms. It won't let me, like, if you, yeah. So, thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. Your registration is now complete. And here we have an opening cutscene in which our first case happens. Note all of the different angles that the cameras cover. It's just an average day, and people are being watched diligently. It's not necessarily anything evil here yet, but they latched onto her specifically because she already had a police record. And then there it is. And so now our job is to try to figure out who caused that. And we do that by doing the exact thing that our government does to us now, to be perfectly honest. Not like most parts of the government, but you'll see in a moment. You're online, good. Call me Symes. I will be your advisor on Orwell. Together we will form the first and last line of defense against terrorism. Now, Symes is an interesting character because he is basically the tutorial character. He's the, like, I feel like I shouldn't say this, but he's the Navi of Orwell. He's trying to he tells you what's going on and starts you off on how to do things. But what's interesting is that they gave him biases, which we'll see in a moment. For this test phase, you are one of the first people to try out the Orwell system under real circumstances, selected from thousands of applicants from across the globe. Normally, congratulations would be in order, but as you can see from that footage, there has been an incident. So let's get started. I've activated the reader tool for you. Its purpose is storing bookmarks to online websites and documents for easy access, and to highlight when there is new information to be investigated. First, I want you to be informed of the situation. Our leading newspaper, the National Beholder, will bring you up to speed. And something I think is interesting, I don't know exactly how to analyze this, but feel free to browse the National Beholder. I've activated the profiler. Open the unknown person file once you're done. You can open all of these different things. It tells you about a new movie that's coming out, how apparently the two leading actors had a breakup. Their negotiations in Triflith failed. None of this is important yet, but and I haven't played through this whole game. I don't know if it will be important, but I like to open all of them because otherwise you don't get them in the thing, which is also very interesting. They don't, for whatever reason, they don't give you a briefing using their own information. You have to go and find you have to go onto the news website to get the information. It suggests that this isn't an official thing, I think. I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm new to the analyzing games thing. I'm not doing the best at it. Anyway. The profiler holds all known information on those we investigate. The file you have opened is for our main suspect. The blue-haired woman that the CCTV footage shows before the assault is no stranger to police. Take a look at the arrest record. So you go back here, find Cassandra Watergate. They definitely named her Watergate on purpose. The highlighted elements in the record are pieces of data that are to be able to be extracted. We call these elements data chunks. Hovering over data chunks will reveal their relevance to the case, and any connections or information it may influence. Drag and drop all data chunks from the police database into the profile and upload them to our servers. So just drag and drop. They make it really easy to put information into Orwell, which is interesting. You'll see. Very good. Pictures and names are crucial information for Orwell to identify a person. Information in documents can only become a data chunk when it can be clearly assigned to a target person. And the reason for Miss Watergate's prior arrest that has just been unlocked. We'll need this to progress. Assault on a police officer. One related document found. Good. With the data you extracted from the police record, a new document can be accessed. Now let me ask you, a question. Do you believe in coincidence? Here we start seeing his biases. I do not. Find data revealing where she attacked the police officer and you will see what I mean. As of right now, there's very little information to actually think that she did it. But he's already really pretty assigned on her because he knows that the incident where she was arrested for assaulting a police officer happened during a rampage at Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration. And so he automatically thinks that she did it because she was there. The exact same location as the assault. Then she turns up there right before the explosion. Surely not a coincidence. And he tries to get you to believe it too. As you know, Miss Watergate is still running around freely. We should find out why. We should also gather more background information on her. I want to know who we're really dealing with. She's an artist. Might as well get that on there. Oh yes, one who does street art by blowing memorials to pieces by any chance. He does this. He always tries to incriminate the person that you're looking at, it feels like. Or at least in this first one. I haven't played through the entire game yet. I need to. Great, you have found another document. Before we go on, let's clarify your job and how it affects mine, shall we? You have extracted all the information I already knew about Miss Watergate. Starting now, I'm going into this case blind. The Orwell Ethical Codex dictates that investigators like yourself are the only ones allowed to access the documents of target persons. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. We will then draw conclusions and request action. So while he makes it seem like he's your complete superior in the beginning here almost, like he knows better than you do, you're actually the one with you're the one that has to have the moral, the ethical knowledge and empathy. I probably should have gotten a bottle of water before starting this stream. That's what I should have done. Hold on one second, I just realized. There we are. So sorry. Advisors like me only get to see the data provided by the investigators. So we're the ones actually investigating, and he has no... Okay. Sorry. New to this. Okay. He has no information other than the information we give him. So, therefore, we can't put anything in here too hastily. We can't put any information in here without considering how it affects the way this person will be seen. Your primary job is to provide information you deem important. Never give away incorrect or misleading data. And yet they make it very easy to give incorrect or misleading data. You may hit disable on a data chunk you do not want to pass to Orwell. However, some data chunks may be necessary to progress the case. We'll see on pretty soon. Add our image, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, here's a fun one. It's not actually, he'll yell at you if you, actually I might as well add it. He'll yell at you because he'll be like, oh yeah. So you're under the impression that our wonderful Miss Watergate is really living in Wonderland? I somehow doubt that. Call it intuition. People's lives are hanging in the balance here. What if you pass me something I cannot identify as wrong so easily? You've got to be more careful next time around. That's the kind of thing. And initially when I first played this game, I put that in here because I thought it was a data chunk regarding her personality, but no, the Orwell application is literal. It takes it as that. She quit her day job to focus on her art career. That's useful information. We got her UTEL account, and now we can get into the second main mechanic that will allow us to overhear any conversation on that account. The listener has now been unlocked. New conversations will appear whenever they are started. So now we can look at her private conversations, which will happen in just a moment. Here we can look at some of her artwork. We find out more information about who she is. And we find out that she has a boyfriend, or at least she did. Actually, the fact that we don't know if she has a boyfriend right now is reason to pause, because you cannot change anything once you put it in here. Oh, and here we are. She has a conversation with an unknown person. Jossie, I guess. And here you can enter in the fact that she stole a credit card from this random person, but we don't know the relationship between these people yet. We don't know if that's an okay thing between them or not. And now, so her attorney is Joseph Langley. That's useful, I suppose. We have a profile for the related person. It can be accessed via the profiler. Data chunks will only appear for targeted persons and can only be extracted into the relevant profiles. So now we have a little thing for Joseph Langley, the person she's talking to. And now we get to see these conversations between these people, and we find out that who her parents are. And see, this is the Watergate, pharma entrepreneurs. This does ring a bell. So that opened a new data chunk. So now, oh, no, wait, hold on real fast. Now that they were talking like she was in a relationship, so might as well add this data chunk now. Hopefully I'll get better at this as I do more of these. So, there's the company. There's Bruno Watergate, Alice Watergate, and Cassandra Watergate. There's another image to add. Is that actually the same person? There's more of his biases. We find out who her parents are. And her previous job. Yeah. And we got new thing. Procedure closings. Conflicted data chunks. Oh, right. Here we are. This is another indication where something might not be, where acting too hastily can be a bad thing. I'd highly recommend you clarify the context of the conflict before you proceed, though this is your decision. Once the information has been parsed, there is no way to reverse your choice. Except for save scumming, which, I mean, it's kind of difficult to do in this kind of game. But, okay, so here we find out that her trial was closed due to lack of evidence, but people had concern that the wealthy family of the accused might have influenced the outcome in her favor. Now, you might be tempted to add this as information against her, but there's no evidence here. We know this happened. We know this is the most likely event. There's no evidence to suggest that her wealthy family got her out of the court by paying off. It's one of those decisions where they give you too little information, and you have to decide. So I guess I personally think it's more apt to pick the lack of evidence. You might think otherwise. That's what I figured. A pity the CCTV feed didn't actually help. Maybe it will today. Yeah, that's another thing. You have to consider the fact that there were tons of cameras everywhere, but they still didn't have enough evidence to figure out who did it. Figure out if she actually did it or not. And here's the new thing. Find some party propaganda. Don't tell anyone I said that at the party. I think it's interesting here because crime rate started to go down, and then the party was elected into government. Then the safety bill was passed, and then it didn't really, it increased down a little bit, but then the steady rate of change came back. I don't know. I'll probably get more information about that as I go down, as I continue this. Urgently looking for a new chief operating officer because she retired. Or maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. Ouch. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Good. Currently I'm thinking that our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change, don't you agree? Let's find out what happened in between those 2 lives of hers. What may have caused this radical shift? And after that, you get access to Cassandra's, basically your Facebook profile, or Twitter. Facebook's closer, probably. We find out her birthday. Her interests aren't expressively important, but may as well add it. Although he's going to be interested in activism. We learn about... See, this is... But... So this may... Where initially you may be thinking, oh, well, she just, like, bad-mouthed the government like that. Clearly she's a terrible person, but you don't know who she is. It plays in a lot of the idea that you can... Like, you think you can know everything about a person from looking at their social media profile, and that this game is telling you that that is not the case. You don't... Just because she said, fuck all of you government lackeys, you don't know that she's a terrorist. It's too little information to go on. So you can't add it yet. Then here is another conflicting data chunk where she goes off on Mary while she's probably still angry after having written this post. The posts were July 29th at 7:45. This was just the next day at 5:17 a.m. Now we can confirm that she's in a relationship with Joseph Langley, who is not... Oh, with her lawyer? Might be noteworthy. He's not a member of Timelines, but... Then here we get more information about the National Beholder. More information. We get what she thinks about that article we saw earlier. She says, they actually wrote about me being freaking redeemed about this shit, but surprise for surprise, they had to mention the speculations over my parents buying me out. Make the click counts go boom, doesn't it? So this entire game is about trying to figure out the facts from a bunch of conflicting sources. Like, we don't know what happened. I don't know if we ever expressly find out exactly what happened in each of these scenarios. But we just have to figure out which of these people we can trust and which people are not trustworthy. Did I have this image? Oh, no, I didn't. Let's use that one. Maybe that's a better one. Here we learn more about the lore of the world, how there are cameras everywhere, supposedly for the people's safety, which right now we still think that's the case. I already submitted that. And then we get a pseudonym, which can be useful. Alias name, you know, people on the web. So many names, so many identities. It's always good to record every alias, then we can match data chunks to the target persons whenever they are using them. Then she was invited to an activist group. That's important information for this case. Is there anything more specific? Not yet, but we'll find it. Then here we see a point where we have to take the date into consideration. On April 12th, 2016, at 6:36 p.m., she says Mary is her best friend. Then the conflict is that on January 30th, 2017, at 5:17 a.m., she says that Mary should just shut her freaking mouth and she's not in the mood for a stupid act. Personally, I think at this point in her story, they're probably not best friends, but I doubt that she's this coarse with her every time. But right now, this is the more recent thing. But then again, it can also incriminate her. So, and it's not pertinent information, really. It doesn't matter if she has broken up with her best friend, so I think we just leave it. So now we know about the party. Oh, and there's more things on the listener. Thankfully, they wait to start a conversation until we're watching them specifically. Sorry. Did you hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing? Come on. Okay. She has to catch a bus there every day. This is important information because it could actually have been a coincidence, despite what Symes was originally thinking. I'll reserve my thoughts until you find more evidence. So happy when Goldfels accepted her into thought. That is likely the program she was talking about. An activist group called Thought. Interesting. Maybe this is what influenced her. And who is Goldfels? We find out who Goldfels is pretty quickly, but not right now. We should find something that shows her current attitude and see if we're following the right person. Not a terrorist. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Then she uses the credit card. Her boyfriend believes in her. Her lawyer, which hopefully her lawyer believes in you. And here's another chance to put in that she's in a relationship with Joseph Langley. We'll come back to this conversation after we look at the thought. And here they have a bunch of entries. You can't actually read any of them except the last one, written by Kasarth. They're just designed to make me feel bad at speaking words. By Kasarthis. Kasarthis? Kasarthis? That's such a weird... God dang it. Contact Kathy92. That's the... I mean, that's what she's using for the chat. Here we are. She's on Metherin. What is this, Metherin? Can you look that up for me, please? Here's more of his biases. Being on... And we can't actually look it up. We have to go back to places we've already been, which thankfully they pointed out for you. Here it is, Metherin. It's an antidepressant, which is understandable. Basically, everyone's on antidepressants this day and age with the state of the world. and imagine that their state of the world isn't too much better than ours, much better, or even worse than ours. She might be emotionally unstable if she's relying on this medication. That may be true, but it's not. The way he says it is designed to make you doubt or think that she did this. I don't know how to word things specifically, sorry. He's trying to impose his biases upon you, but you need to, like, when I first played this game, I fell in head first. I completely went with him. Hold on. Here we are, in this one. I chose the, oh gosh dang it, where is it? Yeah, I chose this data chunk. I fell for it. There's no reason to believe that, so we shouldn't choose it. And then she has a new post on the timeline, which is this. Ha, finally someone who had the grit and explosives to show how futile surveillance is. You notice it's already a conflicting data chunk, so you know that you need to be careful with this. She literally just posted it, by the way. It's April 13th, 2017. It doesn't show what time it is, but I guess it's at 5:19 p.m. Now we have to look through her thing. We were there because we wanted a peaceful protest. We've always been against violence. Now the conflict. Finally, someone who has the grit and explosive to show how futile surveillance is. Now we need to decide what her actual views are, because maybe this is her showing her true colors. Maybe this is her making an angry post on Facebook. We don't. Which Cassandra Watergate is the real one? The one who makes a the one who wrote a structured post on the fact that freedom is unfree, or the one that is really angry and posts, or the one that is really angry and posts something out of spite, on an impulse. I think we should usually err on the side of being forgiving and thinking that I think it's pretty safe to assume in this case, in the tutorial case, that was just a post made in anger. And we won't get the next data chunk until we make a decision, though. And so we have to make a choice. I'm making this choice. You might make a different choice. Huh, if you think that is her actual attitude, we might be barking up the wrong tree after all. Alright, what we found so far is all good and interesting, but I think we should be searching for something a little more concrete. We have to dig deeper. Then we get a new chat session with Juliet Carrington, who we've seen on her timeline before. I think right over, yeah, wait, no. Yeah, there it is. Cassie just wanted to know. You're posting the timeline about the assault. You shouldn't write something like that. You're gonna preach to me about this stupid post, are you? Just wanted to know what's wrong. It's nothing. Just between the two of us. And the FBI operator that's looking at your messages. Just had to let off some steam. It's because of what happened. Yeah, and lots of other shit today. The bombing stirred up all this crap again. You know what I did. What happened there wasn't your fault. Cassie, you hurt that officer to save me, and you succeeded. You mustn't forget about that. That was so brave. How can it not have been my fault? Juliet, I smashed the freaking skull of a father of 2 children because I lost it. Fuck. Now we have to decide who we believe more, the reasoned thanks from a friend or her freaking out because of the horrible thing she realized she's done. Personally, I think this is a better thing to add. Also, we can look at the thing. Injured police officer to protect Julie Carrington, or admitted guilt towards Julian Carrington for having injured a police officer in a rage. I think it's more accurate to do this. That's another thing with this game. Very rarely is there a truth. There's always a more accurate thing. It's always gray. It's very rarely black and white. Huh? Where did that come from now? This is perfect. We can arrest her and open the investigation again. Which, yeah, that's what he's about. However, we probably won't be able to hold her for long if it really happened in defense of this Juliet. Very good work. The intervention team is already on its way. We'll need to wait for confirmation. And now they're going and arresting her right now. Next stop, Wonderland, right? Just kidding. Next time be careful with providing the wrong data again. Data though, okay? Miss Watergate's case, it was not a problem to get her address with the help of local police. With the help of local police due to her former record. Oh, new session. Now after they go and arrest her. Maybe you're right. I should take the post down. It'd be better, believe me. Wait a second, somebody's at the door. BRB. It's the cop going to arrest her. Okay, I'll wait. She doesn't respond. She also doesn't take the post down because she never got a chance. I haven't been talking about him that much lately, not as much as before. Session closed. I'll inquire if all went well when arresting Miss Watergate. You did a good job in any case. Although we have no proof that she's involved with the bombing, we might be able to question her. This can go differently if you take a more aggressive stance. It is very possible that he'll consider some of the conflicting data chunks that are on the other side as evidence against her. If we don't get clear evidence she was involved in the assault, she will not stay there for long. We don't have enough against her to charge and hold her. Okay, I just received confirmation that she is now in custody. Very good work indeed. I'm curious about this thought group, though. Whether they... Oh god. No. Take a look at the news. And then immediately, another bombing. This is horrible. 2 dead, similar approach, same letter found. So the assaults are connected. And if that wasn't enough already, Miss Watergate was in custody at the time, so that's her out of the picture, at least for this attack. Ugh, this complicates matters massively. So much for our simple test case. Which... It's amusing that he calls it simple, because by the nature of this game, none of these cases will be simple. Simple implies that there's a correct answer, a black and white situation. And it's possible that she could have done it. It is very possible. It's just, this case was more simple, I suppose, because there's no, shoot, I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. Thankfully, no one's here watching yet. It's possible she could have done it. There's no reason to believe she did or did not. We can just look at what she's done, what little information we have. We never We never go to the listener and talk to somebody. It's a listener. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here. This isn't the best talk about this. I'm new at it, like I said. You speak with my superiors and see how we are to proceed given these extenuating circumstances. I don't know why he even bothers. All the circumstances are going to be extenuating. I think he's the only one that hasn't realized that. You did good today. You can log off and get some rest by clicking the button at the top right of the desktop. Try and get some sleep. I have a feeling the next few days are going to be trying at best. So we can log out and go to the next day, which I'm not sure if I'll do. I might end the stream here. This feels like a good place to stop, but and we learned about all of these people around her. As the game passes through, you'll make a giant web of connections and interconnections between people. Some of them are important, some of them might not be. Then we get a thing. Based on the data you submitted, we learned the following. Assault on Freedom Plaza. A severe assault occurred on Freedom Plaza yesterday. Cassandra Watergate was present there prior to the assault and is thus being investigated. Activist group Thought. Hints of the involvement of an activist group named Thought have been found. A second assault. A second assault at Stelligan University occurred, seemingly connected to the first. This suggests Cassandra Watergate is either not the only perpetrator or not involved at all. Cassandra Watergate. She's been criminally charged with the injury of a police officer at the past protest at Friesen Plaza. She's an artist. The former criminal case was closed due to lack of evidence. She's in a relationship with her lawyer, Joseph Langley. She seems to have undergone a radical change after she joined the activist group Thought. Her change from being a whatever the acronym was, to being an artist full-time. She probably was an artist already for a little while, but she didn't do it professionally. Julia Carrington claimed that Cassandra defended her by injuring the police officer. An arrest has been made. A place where there is no darkness. Actually, I haven't finished episode 2. I don't know what that means yet. Welcome back. I hope you don't mind if we get started right away. We have tons of work ahead of us. I met with my superiors and they wish to continue with the test case. They believe in the capability of Orwell to handle this. Oh, and you, of course. My superiors agree with me. Based on the information that you have already extracted, the activist group known as Thought is worth investigating. It seems that this Goldfels is an important member of Thought, so we now have clearance to consider them as a target person. Now that Goldfels is a target person, there may be new data chunks available in documents you have already accessed. Don't forget to go back and recheck your sources. So, here we are, Watergate Cassandra, the police record where she was arrested yesterday. Connection between Boston bombings event. Timelines in Rosen announced cooperation. Heavy rainstorms expected this weekend. There's nothing that's sticking out quite yet. Though some of these, I imagine that some of these things will become important later on. We can click here, get a picture of Goldfels, right? Get a picture of Goldfels. It's this man. It's a German folk song called "The Thoughts Are Free." That if you might not have noticed because I was going past it through so fast, but the letter was from the letter that was received at police offices while the bombings were happening were taken from excerpts from "The Thoughts Are Free," written in German. I immigrated to the nation in 1993. Gotta love this. I have to love this. An immigrant. He's very... These little things happen all the time. It's hard to explain exactly how they affect the game, but it definitely... You'll learn about the guy that you're working with and what he thinks. He's the one who created Thought. Thought, an activist group with the same name as this blog. If Goldfels is the one who created the blog, perhaps he founded or even was the leader of the activist group. Which is very possible. It's not unreasonable at all. There's new information in the projects. The thing says there's new information, but I guess I'm missing it somewhere. Actually, I think I just keep coming back to this. Oh, it's right, it's these. You can scroll through these to find out more about the party. Yeah. Now we've got all the information from the party. Could look at entry 8. He recruited 2 of his students and arranging 3 demonstrations like the one held at Freedom Plaza. We let ourselves... okay. In short, are we true to the initial goal that formed the group? Frankly and sadly, the answer to the latter is a resounding no. We let ourselves be consumed by anger and hatred towards those we thought do us wrong. Thoughts are free, but that does in no way mean that they can attack and do whatever they wish. Instead of blaming others, I now see my high aims might well be the cause for the events of the past months. More than anyone else have thought, I feel responsible. I will halt my active engagement in this group. I firmly believe it shall be better for everyone involved, especially my students from Stelligan. New comment by Concerned One. Really, yeah. That sounds like a throwaway count. What now, Stelligan? The same Stelligan where the bomb just exploded? No, what I think about coincidence is I won't repeat it. So far, the evidence suggests that Goldfels was a prominent lecturer at Stelligan, and some of his students became involved in Thought. Did he, recruit them for his cause? We need to identify those students, see who else is involved in this group. He will halt his active engagement in the group. Whatever active engagement means, still an interesting fact. Now we need to decide. Does Goldfell feel responsible for troubled past and hinted at a troubled past? Or does he react with hatred and anger about the troubled past of Thought? And hinted at the troubled past of Thought. This is another easy one. This one is obviously, he's talking about the past tense here. This one is what he's currently talking about. This is what he's currently doing. A troubled past. We'll need to get to the bottom of this. Oh yeah, I can't click on that. Okay. Let me get more information here. Oh, right. Click up here. Now, look at Stelligan University. The front page was changed to do a picture of the 2 students, I believe, that were just killed in the bombing. Notable alumni. Joseph Langley. Actually, am I able to? No, it won't let me, not yet. Alright. Not until we're allowed to investigate these people, I suppose. It's good to take note of. Professor A. Goldfels. Abraham Goldfels? Abraham it is, well done. He was offered professorship in the media ethics at Stillingen, from which he sadly retired in fall 2016. To notice the bombing locations seem to be closely connected to Thought members. There could be a pattern emerging. Thought has held 3 demonstrations, yet there have only been 2 bombings, which might imply... Well, it's definitely a shot in the dark, but we absolutely need to do everything we can to prevent another attack. Take a close look at the past of each member with Thought. Find out the locations of all demos they've held. That might yield a hint. He was the journalist, the Dare reporter, which interestingly didn't bring any new articles. He was a chairman at the Global Media Ethics Congress, member of an ethical congress, just the average run-of-the-mill terrorist trait. Publication of significance, Die Genden. I'm sorry for anyone who knows German. Well, what do you say to that? He literally wrote the book. Well, that's a whole lot of information on this Goldfels, yet only one other page could be indexed. Very strange indeed. I think the next course of action should be to look for other people of this thought group, like the students he mentioned. And also we have another conversation here with Joseph Langley. He's trying to contact Cassandra, but she's currently been arrested, and I guess they didn't let her make her phone call yet because he doesn't know. Either that or she's still angry at him because of the skipping, because he had to skip her date to go to talk with a client, which, yeah, he just goes on like this for a while. Then we can look at the attendee list, which is, we know he retired in 2016, and he worked in media. So we can go here and look at his list of students from this time. No one has stuck out to us yet as people we know. So we can go and look at, oh wait, oh right, we have to go all the way back up to summer semester 2016. I think it's in here. Nope, here we are. O'Donnell Harrison. Harrison O'Donnell. Yes, we've seen that name connected to Miss Watergate. I'll report this right away. You've been authorized to consider Harrison O'Donnell as the target person. Now there's some more work for you. Congrats. You can't add information to their profile until they're a target person. Then Carrington Juliet. Another person she's talked to. Now it appears she was a student of Abraham Goldfels. I think that's enough to warrant a report. Give me a few minutes. Right, we have authorization to investigate Miss Carrington. Harrison and Juliet. Those must be Abraham Goldfels students within thought. Well done. I think it's a bit hasty, although it is apparently likely. Get a picture? I think I'll end the stream here pretty soon. Wait until we see the last really big, last big, gosh dang it, contradiction. Here's Harrison O'Donnell. And all of his posts have been redacted. And here's a picture of have him with Juliet. Something to hide then, Mr. O'Donnell? Maybe he regrets what he posted before? No. Right. Got one related document. Rosentech. Ten Commandments, get in touch. Use get in touch to find her. And get her telephone number so we can start looking at her conversations as well. Here we get a conversation between her and her mother. She keeps cutting her off. And we can get... Now, it depends on if you consider this pertinent information or not. And also if... It doesn't really seem like that means she lives with her parents, although I guess it kind of does. Now, she's planning to go out to Bonton this evening. That seems important and relatively... Seems relatively, gosh dang it. Innocuous, I guess? And her mother is extremely worried. Richter Rosen's her boss. Which we kind of already got that information, but I guess now that we got it specifically, we can learn that. Still a bunch of information we haven't processed here. Let's look at Harrison's timeline again. Now we're doing the same things we've done before, only now... Media punk? What does that even mean? It's a good question. Oh, here we are. Easily jealous. I feel like that's good to note, although it's not expressly pertinent. And he likely could have changed from the way he was. Did I already put that image in here? Yes, it did. Yeah, I'll wait till we get to the biggest conflicting data chunk. There. She's not so keen on going out late night, which is weird that we should find this out, because that's pretty recent, and she's planning on going out soon. And we can say that Cassandra Watergate engages in torture. That's another one of those things where it can be really easy, just put that in there. It's almost too easy, just add that information in there. And we can get, see that she's her family website here. We can see all about her other various sisters. Then here, she decided to end her band career once she was single again. This is another thing where we have to take in time the time of these posts. Here she's in a band. She's with Harrison O'Donnell, right? So now we have to decide if it's likely that she's single right now, or it's pretty obvious in this case. Though it takes a while to figure out that she was in the band, but she's single now. Studies media economy at Stelligan University. She plays the guitar. And her parents are named Jonathan and Esther. And we can put in her favorite color, her favorite food, and her favorite book. We see another side of our little friend above. Oh yeah, we can add this as a picture. Ultramarine. And now thought got messed up. Wait, what the actual... The moment you open that doc, malicious code injection was detected in Orwell. We've had 47 attack warnings and still counting? What the hell is on that site? And now we can't look at the thought anymore. Someone has definitely on purpose messed up that website. Now we can look at the targets, which apparently that band we've seen previously on Cassandra's timeline. That's Juliet Carrington and Harrison O'Donnell both were or are in that band. And everything is connected like this. The developers must have gone to great lengths to make everything such a cohesive whole. And you can actually listen to their music. I think it's actually starting to get picked up on my mic. Advertisement for the poor. You can see that they're an activism kind of group. Wait, let me click on. Go home, you're drunk. Learn about their gigs. Their most recent gig is canceled. There's recent. Oh. Plan the Freedom Plaza protest of thought. We have a conflicting data chunk there, so you don't want to add it too quickly until you see what it's conflicting with. Stand. It's quite an ego we've got there. Sure enough. Then she calls herself Juliet Tubman for some reason, which, like, I get Juliet, but, like, come on. Actually, I like to use their Facebook profile picture, as long as it's good. They always note that whenever you add something, this cannot be undone. Wait, get albums? Is there more things to click here? Oh, here we are. We can get... Now that we know that Hancock is Harrison O'Donnell, we can look at his email. And we've had something on the listener up here for a while. So we can look at between Cassandra and Juliet. This is Joseph on Cassandra's account. Oh, right. Not allowed to put information on his thing yet. Not too uncommon. It's worth noting. And here's Joseph trying to figure out what happened to Cassandra, because I guess he still doesn't know. And we can look at a new email that Harrison O'Donnell got. That he got a bouquet of flowers to Angela. Now, I haven't actually done this. I probably should have actually, just to test it out, but you can say that Harrison O'Donnell and Juliet are in a relationship with that conflicting data chunk earlier. Now here, I'm not sure if this would give us that Harrison ended his relationship with her, or if he's cheating on her with Angela. It's these informations like this. And now we can look at his bank account. That's fun. Like how he doesn't have a comment about the fact that we just got his bank account. Look at all of these things. He goes to People's Drugs and Pharma quite a lot. Either he values his hygiene, or it might well be material intended to wash away a freedom memorial. He pays life insurance twice. He owns 2 separate life insurances. Guy his age, planning on doing something dangerous perhaps. Received a large payment from the National Beholder. Sounds like some sort of secret affiliation. Keep looking for more info. Wait, hold on. Putting the safe in safety. And yeah, we can just look at it. Oh yeah, here we are. Hancock decided to quit the band. Maybe we can use this as another picture. Here we are. Security warning, unrecognized access to account. Your FBTN online banking account was just used from an unrecognized device. So, yeah. Friesen Plaza was organized by thought, yeah, but Harrison did all the planning for it. But it says by this, it says Juliet was the one organizing this. Oh, Cassandra, I just noticed that. Cassandra said that Juliet was the one organizing it. And now Juliet is saying that Harrison did all the planning for it. And so you don't know. You can't know right now. It's entirely possible that it's somewhere in between. But you need to choose. Man, I played this for a little bit longer than I had intended. So I don't know. I think I'll call this good for now. We haven't gotten to the insider yet, but that's fine, I think. And if you notice, we've gotten all the headlines have been updated. First suspect in connection with the assaults arrested. They don't say who it is, but we know it's Cassandra. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. We might continue this later, or we might choose a different game. I hope that this was at least somewhat coherent. I'm kind of new to this, but yeah, yep. I suppose we'll call it good for now. All right. Have a nice day. Oh, I never actually noticed that they have objectives that we need to find. The only piece of information we have to go on now is that we need to decide whether it was Harrison that planned the whole thing, or if it was Juliet that planned the whole thing. In this case, I guess, do we trust what Cassandra said a while ago, or what Juliet just said? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We might play this game again, we might not. But if we do, I'll continue from here, I suppose. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Oh yeah, and go forth, make games, be awesome. See you later.